One of the most famous quotes by Nietzsche: "A man who has a why can almost bear anyhow." He's trying to tell us that what we can't stand is not the suffering in itself, but the lack of meaning in suffering. Let's say many people volunteer, right, for 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours. And we find that okay because we find meaning in it. We know we've done something good for others and for ourselves. We feel like a good person. We feel like we contributed to society, even in a small way. But let's say someone's dog takes a shit on your lawn, and that annoys a lot of people because you have to pick up someone else's dog's shit that you don't know who did it. You don't know why they didn't pick it up. You have no idea why you have to suffer, right? Although it's a lot quicker to remove someone else's dog's poop, it takes 5 seconds. That causes anger, that causes resentment. Although those same people might have volunteered for 1, 2, or 3 hours without feeling any resentment. Or let's say you get a tattoo and it causes pain. I don't know how exactly it hurts because I haven't got one for myself, but many people tell me that it's stinging and burning. It hurts a lot, but they're able to tolerate it because they know by the end of the procedure they'll have a tattoo that they crave for. But let's say your skin just started burning and tingling for no reason. You'll go insane. You have to go to the doctor. You'll flip out. So what we find insufferable is not the suffering in itself, but lack of meaning in suffering and not knowing why we're suffering. But we're doing this every day. We're going to work, we're going to school, which is suffering. Without having to know why. We don't know why we have to work. We don't know why we have to go to school. Because school and work is prison ultimately. We have to follow the authority, and independence is now rewarded, but seen as a threat to the system. We're told what to do, exactly what we have to do for their project, for their goals, not your own. And I already talked about how work and school is very unnatural to us because we hate being told what to do. That's another core theme in Nietzsche's philosophy, the will to power. We want to feel like we have the power in every decision in our lives. Let's say you're about to drive someone anyway. You're about to give them a ride. But if they say, "Oh yeah, pick me up at this time," that's gonna cause resentment because you're being told what to do. Whereas when they say, "Oh, can you please pick me up at this time, or do you mind giving me a ride?" You'll happily do it. You're going to do it anyway, but if they say, yeah, just pick me up at this time," something doesn't feel right. You feel resentment because you don't have the power. Let's say you're about to treat someone to a meal anyway, to your girlfriend or boyfriend or your friend. Well, if this says, "Oh yeah, you got the check," without asking, "Oh yeah, do you mind getting the bill for me this time?" Yeah, you happily pay, but then if they say, "Oh yo, you got the check," then yeah, that's gonna cause resentment because you're being forced to pay. You don't have a freedom. You weren't given the choice. And that's gonna cause resentment. You'll be like, "Yo, what the fuck? Why are they being so entitled?" But so all this stuff is very unnatural. Being told what to do is very unnatural for humans, but this is what we do during work and school every single day. So I think that's why it's so important to find a meaning in life. You know, And then work and school can be a means to an end, not the end itself. You have to work to live, not live to work, you know. Living in a corporation till your 60s just to enjoy freedom for 10 or 20 more years. You know, that's not how we're meant to live, right? Spend all your youth, spend all your freedom, spend all your health and vitality in a corporation just to enjoy freedom for the last 10 to 20 years of your life. Well, all your youth and all your vitality and all the health is already zapped out of you. It's a scam, it's a hoax. It's not something you have to adhere to if you find a purpose in your life. I don't know what that might be. I don't know, maybe traveling the world, writing your own book, I don't know, holding your own seminar and traveling across different countries, having a kid, having a son, and making him a soccer player or a basketball player because you couldn't quite make it. I don't know, anything. Just having your own goal in life. Then every single dollar you make, every single experience you have, every single connection to make can be a leverage point to achieve that goal. It's no more meaningless. At least after each day of work, you can say, oh, I'm a little bit closer to that goal. You know, if we don't have a meaning in life, we're gonna spend our dollars and time in useless ways. You know, you suffer during work, you don't know why you're suffering. You work so hard for 5 days and now you have to give yourself a break and you don't know what to do. You're gonna spend that money and time on alcohol, on drugs, having meaningless sex, just to distract yourself from more suffering that's gonna come in 2 days. If you don't think there's a meaning in life, you're gonna spend your money and time in meaningless ways as well, just to distract yourselves from further suffering, which is gonna come next week. Even worse, you buy an expensive car, you buy an expensive house, and you get more loans which keeps you enslaved in that system, trapped in that system of having to work to pay off that loan until you die. And us not having the power, us not having a meaning in life, us constantly being told what to do during work, we're exerting that desire for power in such unhealthy ways, you know, hating on other genders, hating on other races, hating on people of different social or sexual orientation, different religion. You know, you want to feel more powerful than a certain gender, a certain country, a certain race. You know, all the shit that doesn't matter, you know, it's there to keep us distracted from the real battle, which is you against yourself, you know. No one really cares about you like that. Life is a single player game. The only thing that matters is you being closer to your goals and what you want to do tomorrow than you were yesterday. I don't know what it's gonna be. I mean, I'm not even sure what it is for myself, but I think finding a meaning in life, finding a meaning in the suffering, which is life, which is work, which is school, can make it more bearable and more meaningful. And having a meaning in life and channeling your money, channeling your energy, channeling your time towards that meaning will make you see through a lot of bullshit in the world. Like spending your money on useless shit that are only of the functioning of serving your ego. Filtering out people in your life you don't need. Filtering out people in your life that you realized was only there because you needed to bond over stuff that are there to just distract yourselves from work. You know, it's not based on a common goal or a common idea, it's just they're based on your interest for drugs. Yeah, I think it can remove some emptiness in your life, although emptiness in life is hard to remove completely. Yeah, so I think it's worth thinking about what you want to achieve in life, what your ultimate goal is, because your ultimate goal is not working till you're 60, right? So yeah, I think that's something to think about, and have a good weekend.